Good morning, students. It's very good to see you again. We are going very good in our lectures, and we have completed our ninth chapter, the organic compounds with oxygen-containing functional group, and you have also learned it, read it. I've been checking your work, and I was feeling very proud. And today we are going to start a new chapter, which is the chemistry of life. We have so far completed nine chapters, only two are left, and I'm hopeful that we will complete them uh, before we go into our preliminary examination in the month of June. So today we will start a new chapter. Our new chapter is the 10th chapter, which is the chemistry of life. Chemistry of life is also sometimes known as biochemistry. So in today's lecture, I will be talking to you more about this chapter and how this chapter is important. So let's go into the details and let's check what is chemistry of life. It is our 10th chapter and it is also known as the biochemistry. Now, the biochemistry is the branch of chemistry which basically deals with a whole different type of compounds. Although these compounds are related to the other organic compounds like alcohols, in fact, if I would say that they are derived from the organic compounds, it will not be wrong. Carbohydrates are a type of compounds which are derived from alcohols, aldehydes, and ketones. Likewise, the proteins are derived from carboxylic acids and they are derived from the amino groups, the alkylamines. So the biochemistry has its own domain, and in its domain, it deals with the compounds such as carbohydrates, as you can see, proteins, lipids, vitamins, and minerals. And it deals with how these compounds are transformed into each other. Those chemical reactions, those chemical techniques, basically. Those chemical techniques which actually control or which actually explain how they combine with each other and how they deal with each other. Okay, so if you can see right here, the carbohydrates are the major family of compounds, proteins, lipids, and vitamins and minerals. And biochemistry studies how these compounds are transformed into each other by certain chemical processes or physical processes which are taking place in the cell. Yes, the human cell. And the cell will do these chemical and physical processes for what? In order to maintain its well organized structure and activities. So, this is a comprehensive definition of biochemistry, that it is the branch of chemistry which deals with the study of chemical and physical processes taking place in the living organisms. Okay, by means of which some compounds, like I mentioned, they transform into each other by the cell itself in order to maintain its organized structure. Okay, so the main idea of the biochemistry or main field with which the biochemistry deals is the food and nutrition, because that's how these compounds are will go into the living bodies. Okay, food and nutrition are basically chemical compounds. They are chemical compounds that taken by us, we take them and they go into our body and then they break down into different components and the body uses them. Okay. So you will definitely eat those compounds which you can use to maintain your organized structure and activities. You will not like to eat the compounds which will not take part of your body not somehow be relevant or beneficial to you. So when it comes to food and nutrition, in this branch, in this topic or in this study, we select the food groups, okay, and we understand how they are digested, and we understand how they are assimilated from different enzymes actions in order to break them into smaller groups and then used by the cell, used by the body. Okay, so this is all about food and nutrition. So let's jump into the main topic, food. Okay, important thing, what is food? Food is the group of naturally occurring chemicals that take part in life-sustaining processes. Okay, this is a glass. I will not eat this glass. Why not? Because the chemicals from which the glass is made is not going to take part in life-sustaining activities inside my body. Okay, this is a key. I'm not gonna eat the key because it's not gonna be helpful, or it's not gonna help me sustain uh, my processes. Okay, so food is basically we call those chemical compounds as food, which can take part in the life sustaining processes. They are called food, and the valuable component in the food, okay, the part of the food that actually works for us is called nutrient. So if you are drinking milk, the milk as a whole may not be life sustaining for us, but the components inside the milk will actually be called nutrients, and they help us sustain life. Okay, which help the valuable component of food which continues life-sustaining process is called nutrient. There are some food with a lot of nutrients, but there are some food with less nutrients. So our body cannot eat one type of food for a long time because then we will get some nutrients and we will miss the other nutrients. I hope you understand food, what is food, and what is nutrient, and the difference between food and nutrient. Okay, food is a general family of compound, and nutrient is the component of it. So now food is required by us. We need food. Why? Number one, we need food for energy. Okay, and number two, we need food for growth and maintenance of tissues. And number three, we need food for regulation of our body processes. Now, first of all, energy. I'm talking to you right now. I'm using the energy I have in order to discuss this with you. Athletes are running and they are using the energy. If those the athletes who do more excursion, they need more energy. So energy is required by all people, all no matter what age they are, no matter what gender they are, no matter what work they do. However, some will require more energy than others, depending upon the kind of work that they are doing. All right. If you are a laborer, missionary laborer, and you work all through the day, then maybe you need a lot of energy to perform those works. And if you are a sedentary person who is sitting on around and not doing a lot of work, maybe you would not require a lot of energy. Okay. In that case, if you don't require a lot of energy and you take a lot of energy, then you are going to gain weight because that extra energy will be stored for later. Okay. And if you are working a lot and you're not taking enough energy, then your body will slowly use the extra energy from your fat deposits in your body. And if even those fat deposits are not there, the body will start to use the body protein and obtain energy from there. So first purpose of energy is of taking food is to provide our body's energies. Our entire body, uh, even breathing, even breathing requires a lot of energy. Talking, and our body, the even if we are even if we are sleeping, okay, we are still requiring energy. So the first purpose of food is to obtain energy. The second purpose of food is growth and maintenance, and this is important for children, people of young age. Okay, a small baby, 6-month-old baby, if it has to grow into a complete adult, then it will require a lot of food. So basically, to grow itself. Okay, you all have been babies once, and then from being small babies till now, you have consumed a lot of food. Okay, you should ask your parents. Okay, parents, that how much food you have taken to grow to this much. And people who don't eat a lot of food in childhood, their growth is compromised. So we, the parents, always we make sure that our children are growing properly, and we monitor their food intake. So next time your parents are mad at you for not eating well, it's biological for them. They want to make sure that you grow properly. And then comes the tissue maintenance. So obviously, when you are running and you are working, your body undergoes a wear and tear situation, like the car is running on the road. Now, the petrol is the energy the car is burning, but you don't spend only for the petrol. You also spend for other maintenance because the car hits the bumps somewhere, something is broken, it has to be maintained, repaired. So our body is very intelligent and it will repair itself on its own. All we have to do is provide it enough food so it can use the component of the food, which we call the nutrients, to do the maintenance of tissues. And last is regulation of body processes. Our body, inside our bodies, there are hundreds of chemical processes are taking place. Our endocrine system is making hormones. Our even digestion is also a process where we need energy to do digestion. So when you eat a lot of food, you feel lazy and you want to sit down and you want to sleep because your body wants you to spend some energy to digest. It's also a physical process which body does. So I hope you understand the three basic purposes of the food in our body: the energy supply, the growth and maintenance of tissues, and the regulation of body processes. Now we move further and we just see that what are the nutrients of a balanced food. A balanced food, what should be, what are the components of the food that our bodies need in order to survive well, fight disease, okay? In this way, there are six components in which we are divided. First is the carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is on the number one. And then we need proteins, and then we need fats, minerals, vitamins, and water. Okay. These are basically the six nutrients that must be taken with the help of from the food. Okay. If you just refer to your textbook, you will find there are four. They don't. They haven't mentioned. Few of them are not there. So these six components of the food are called nutrients, and we take them from different foods. So now we will discuss them one by one, and I will explain to you how we take them, why we take them, why we eat them. For example, the first one, if you talk about the first one is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is the basic energy supply chain to our body. When we take carbohydrates, it will break down into smaller and simpler chemical groups, mostly called glucose. The glucose goes into our bloodstream, and then from our bloodstream, it goes to our every cell, where this glucose burns and produce ATP. Now, ATP is the currency of energy for human body. So more glucose, more ATP, the cells can function more. So when you do a lot of swimming, you know, You go to water, a lot of swimming. And then when you come out, what do you want? You want to eat a lot because your body needs more ATP. Okay. When you are playing game and then you just play for a while and then you get tired and then you think you cannot play more because your body requires ATP. This ATP energy is required by the brain to function, by all of our cells from head to toe. The energy comes from the carbohydrates. Next is the protein. Protein is the another component uh, that is required by our body. But before I go there, I must tell you that how much we need. Okay, so let's go to our next topic. Our next topic is the dietary calorie. Now, calorie is a unit of energy, as you all know, right? Calorie is joule and calorie. They have a relationship. So the dietary calorie is the most common unit, of energy described from the food. We don't use joule. We can use joule, no problem. If you purchase a biscuit and you will find out that there's a calories and also joules. So it's upon the preference. Most common one is the calorie. Now, the physical unit calorie is the energy required to increase the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. All right. And the dietary calorie with a capital C is actually 1,000 calories. So the calorie when we use or we read on our food supplements or packaging, we find it's a kilocalorie or it's a calorie with the capital C. The the physics the physical unit of energy calorie is the amount of energy required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of uh, water by 1 Celsius. But that is too small for us. So we need more, we need a bigger unit. We use kilocalorie or kcal. You see kcal is written there, or a capital C, they are similar. So dietary calorie will raise the temperature of 1 kg of water by 1 degree C. That's the difference. So 1 gram of water by 1 degree C, and then 1 kg of water by 1 degree C. So this is a different, okay? Small c, this calorie, 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. Capital calorie is 1 kg of water by 1 degree Celsius. So the small calorie is the physical unit, but it's not directly used when it comes to describing the energy content of food for human being. Now, we all know that 1 calorie is 4.186 joules. So 1 kilocalorie will be 4,186 joules. So normal human being like me will require 2,500 calories per day. Now you can see how many joule it's going to be. So this calorie will come from food. Okay. In common practice, we use kcal, right? So kcal is calorie. Kcal doesn't mean this calorie. This calorie is a physical unit. This calorie is a unit used for food supplements for us. Now, now let's see the calorie and the human health. Okay, so without calorie, we will die. Okay, we need energy, and the human body's energy needs to survive, to operate, to function better. Our hearts and lungs, they require a lot of energy. Okay, if we don't take calories, we are going to perish. So sometimes people who have a dinner and then they don't do breakfast in the morning, in the school you might have seen some kids passing out and fainting, and we say give him glucose because what's happening? He's lacking enough calories. So we take these calories from our food and of course drinks. juices, etc. So if we consume just the amount of calorie we need per day, we will enjoy a happy life, no disease, no problem. We will fight the disease better. But if we take calories more than we need or calories less than we need, in both cases, it's dangerous. Yes, it's dangerous. And if you take more calorie intake than your body needs, you're going to get overweight. And being overweight has its own problem because obesity is in itself a gateway to many diseases. But if you take less calories and you have enough fat reserves, you can use those fats. But once those fats are over, the body will start to damage its own protein to make energy for you in order to survive. So what should we should do? We must take just the amount of calories that is required by us. Okay. So what happens if somebody's calories consumption is too low or too high? This will eventually experience health complications. Okay, as we grow up after the age of 30 or 40, we continue to eat at a similar rate and our body does not is not growing. Okay, so you might be thinking that two people, one person is eating a lot but is not getting fat, one person is eating the similar amount of food but getting fat, because the one who is not getting fat, maybe he's using those calories for growth and you have done your growth already. So let's go into the detail that how many calories we need and from where we can take and how does the food give us the calorie. So this chart can help you here that if you take 1 gram of carbohydrate, it gives you 4 calories. 1 gram of protein gives you 4 calories and 1 gram of fat gives you 9 calories. So let me explain to you. A simple roti or a slice of bread, okay, is about 100 grams. Now, if you take 100 grams of a bread slice, that's 400 calories. All right. One roti is 100 grams into 400 calories. Okay, do you get it? So the calories coming from different food components are like this. If you take 1 gram of fat, you get more than double amount of calories. So that's why the fat intake is always limited because it supplies energy much higher than the protein and carbohydrates can give. In fact, 1 gram of fat can provide you energy more than 1 gram of carbohydrate and protein combined. All right. That's why we take a lot of fat when we are young because we need more energy. But once we grow up, we try to reduce the fat content from our diets. And here I have some, I can show you through some charts and explain to you that how this is happening. If you see this chart on your screen, I hope you do, you can see this is a pyramid. It's like a pyramid. And you will see this is a recommended one. Okay. Which component is taken the most? Of course, it's this carbohydrate one. The last one is a carbohydrate. Bread is there. You can say wheat is there. Pastas are there, biscuits are there. These all are in the bread, cereal, pasta. All this is here. So in our case, it's a roti, it's a carbohydrate. Other carbohydrate which we take is basically from potatoes, the roots. They are carbohydrates. So we use them basically to obtain energy. So we take that many. Why we don't eat 10 rotis per day? Okay, 10 rotis per day. Some people do, yes, who work a lot, who exercise or who play. we can do, but our food intake is always in correspondence with our calorie requirements. So this portion is carbohydrate, even this portion is also carbohydrates, but there's a divide between them. Okay, this is carbohydrate. This is, you can see more than 50% of our calorie intake comes from the carbohydrates. All right. You can see the vegetables are one type of carbohydrates, the fruits are the other type of carbohydrates, and the breads, biscuits, rice, okay, sugar, sugar. This is this type of rice. I won't say sugar. Sugar is on the top. So these all are called healthy carbs. Among them carbs, which carbs are the most healthiest? This is the carbs from vegetables. Because vegetable carbohydrates are very much complex in nature and they are very nutrient dense. When you are eating a roti or a biscuit or rice, you're getting plain carbohydrates which will break down into glucose and you're going to get energy from it. Good for energy, no problem. But if you take vegetables, now vegetables will give you carbs, but alongside the carbohydrates, it's going to give you a lot of other nutrients which bread cannot give or rice cannot give. Rice, potato, bread, they will give you plain carbs, starch, which will break down into glucose. Glucose will burn to produce energy. Nutrients are not there. When it comes to the fruits and vegetables, you don't just have the carbs, but you have a lot of other nutrients packed with it. Different fruits, different nutrients. Okay. When you look at this picture, you might be feeling hungry right now. I can see that because me as well. The orange gives you the calories, glucose. It does give you that, but it also gives you a lot of vitamin C. Okay. When you go to the banana gives you potassium, the mineral. Okay. So these, if I say each, there are some nutrients which are found in one fruit and not in the other fruit. So this can change. But so eating a lot of fruits, especially the fruits of the season. Yes, the mangoes are coming. So the mangoes are basically the fruit of summer season. And if you're waiting for mangoes like me, then I'm not the only one. So, and the oranges are the fruit of they've just completed their turn. The watermelon is there nowadays. You must be eating and enjoying watermelon. Watermelon gives you a lot of minerals. So, if you are completing your caloric requirements from fruits and vegetables, you're getting calories for burning to be burned as energy, also getting the nutrients. But if you're taking not taking fruit and vegetables, then the breads and pastas and rice can also do the work for you. The problem happens when you take all of them. There's too many glucose, too much energy to handle, and this should not worry you because you need energy. This should worry me and people like me who want to lose weight. So you either take them all like that. Now, on the upper on this pyramid, you can see meat, poultry, sausage, fish. This is the protein. Okay, the eggs are protein. Milk has protein. Cheese. These have protein. So again, there's a line between them. Some people consider bread, pasta, rice not good carbs. They just don't eat it. People of age 25 or more, but good for age 25 and less. Among the fruits, many people don't eat fruits. They don't like to eat fruits. They prefer vegetables. They think they are more calorie dense with less uh, carbs or more complex carbs. So our body is more. So there's a line between them. Similarly, the line between meat, poultry, fish, and eggs and this one. There's a difference. Some people will think that they are good or bad like that, but they both are used as to give you proteins. They don't just give you proteins, but they also give you fats. Fats. Fruits cannot give you fats. You know, a bread, if it is a brown bread or if it's a whole grain bread, yeah, it can give you some fats as well, some protein as well. But plain bread will not give you proteins. The vegetables will not give you proteins unless they are mushrooms. Vegetable will give you only carbs. Okay, no protein, no fats. Fruits will give you only carbs, no proteins, no fats. But when it comes to meat, beef or meat or fish, poultry products, they give a lot of protein, entirely protein or fat, and no carbs. So you want to eat just the poultry, not good for you. You mean you need to make a food group that can give you all these requirements. So there are different proteins coming from different sources. Okay, if you are not like used to eat animals, okay, you are vegetarians. Then some there are other ways to eat. You can eat peas, other grains. There are green lentils, which you call dale, in Urdu. They have a lot of protein. You can take your protein from there. Eggs and them also give you proteins and fats. Milk is good for you. Also brings calcium for you. And on the top, which is very, very small, okay, unfortunately for many young people, they put this top one at the bottom. They will just want to flip this pyramid all around. Burgers, French fries, donuts, juices, ice cream, sugar. These are dangerous. They should be taken, but for very little. Okay. Unfortunately, the companies which sell them, I will also include biscuits in them, cakes in them. The companies who basically sell them, they put sugar in it, a lot of sugar in it. So sugar is addictive, and you will be very much addictive to them. You will feel a lot of craving for them. If somebody is used to of eating sweet stuff, let's say chocolates or sweet candies, you will always have a feeling to get them because of the addictive nature of it. So it is put in a very small amount. In our textbook, they tell us that our normally 58% of our calorie must come from carbs and 35% from fats and 12% from proteins. We can write this in our copies and remember it. But worldwide, this is not the same. It's changing a little bit and slowly, gradually it's changing. And there are different type of diets that people are using. Some people don't eat carbs at all. They just take the protein and fats mainly. So it's like different uh, um, group of people who think differently. So this is how you get from this pyramid. We are not only understanding our calorie requirement, we are also understanding different sources of different types of nutrients. The carbohydrates you can see and you can understand, and also meat and fats. So if I move further in this and I can tell you more about it, okay, that the carbohydrates are coming from uh, bread, cereals, grains, okay, rice, and the protein are coming from meat, fish, beef, chicken, eggs, milk, and cheese, and fats from the similar sources. Every protein source will also have some sort of fat in it. So if you talk about chicken, it's more protein and less fat. If you talk about meat, okay, lamb meat, it's also protein and a little bit fat. If you talk about beef, it's a lot of fat in it, okay. Some people think that fat are basically better. So it's choice. Basically minerals, they come from water. our mineral come from water and some mineral from fruits. Fruits are also like iron is a mineral. Green leafy vegetable will give you iron. Okay. Vitamin C, which fights against disease, comes from tomatoes and oranges and lemons. So different minerals come from different fruit and vegetable sources and water. Simple bread does not have any kind of mineral. And then we need vitamins. Now, vitamins are basically the first three are directly calorie supply, but these are the remaining three basically does the support mechanism for them. If you eat carbs, protein, and fats, and no mineral, no vitamin, no water, obviously the purpose, the transformation of the first three components cannot be used. So what happens when you eat food, when you eat our system breaks it down into simpler components. If it is carbs, makes glucose. If it is protein, it will make amino acids. Fat, long chains, it's going to make smaller chains of fats. It will extract minerals. Our intestine is the basic machinery where the suction of these nutrients takes place. And then from there, it goes into our bloodstream. And our blood takes all these nutrients all over the body. Okay. And then it needs oxygen to basically do that. So many minerals are used to transport it. So that's how these caloric intakes are furnished. Now, when it comes to a fats protein diet, most people don't actually prefer a lot of protein diet, but there are 10 amino acids which come from proteins. Carbohydrates gives glucose, the simplest form of it, and the proteins come from different meat, egg, poultry sources. Here is a chart of the essential amino acid. I mean, if you don't get them from protein, your body will undergo sickness. Now, can you just check here that eggs can give you all 10 types of essential amino acids. So that's why egg is the nutrient rich, you know. Soy protein, soybean oil it has. Then there are different, you can see white fish have one type of amino acids, red fish have other, beef have other type of amino acids. So if you're taking only fish, then you are depleting or depriving your body of other essential amino acids. So, in order to eat well, we need to basically take different sources of protein. Okay, so that we should eat sometime lamb, sometime fish, sometime. And when your body is craving for something, let's say you say that, "Mommy, please today make me fish." Okay, I'm craving for fish. Basically, your body lacks that amino acid which comes from fish. It's your body telling you. Okay. If you say, okay, you want to eat gawa today, daddy, bring me some gawa. Basically, your body is lacking vitamin A, and your body is telling you that you should get the vitamin A. All right. So these needs come from the body within itself. So now this entire thing, then so the top carbohydrates, energy sources I explained, protein sources, amino acids, and the chart I explained here for you guys. Fats are also required to making our bodies. Our brain is entirely made of fat. Cell membrane and all this require fat. Although there's a different controversies about fat, but fat is also an essential component of our diet, and without it, we are going to die or not be able to fight the disease that much easily. Right? Vitamins are chemical agents which support the different functionals. Vitamins, we will study the vitamin in a separate, after this, we will study all of them one by one. from carbohydrates to vitamins from tomorrow. Uh, but in this in this topic, you have to write down some basic things about vitamins and their sources. So I will recommend you to study these topics, and especially from page number 215 to page number 220. You'll find different points. I will ask you to not write the entire topic, but point to point important things in mineral, important things in water, important things in proteins. You must note down and understand what is food and nutrition and why our body needs it. So this is the lecture, my dear friends, which is an introductory lecture. Actually, it gives you just the introduction to this chapter. We will basically be studying this chapter in detail with every branch one by one. But this is just an introduction. From tomorrow, I will be teaching you in detail about the carbohydrates. So your work today is to just write the introductory topics for all these one by one. And this question doesn't come in the examination so much, so we're gonna learn it actually, but just to take few points maybe. And I have seen many multiple choice questions coming from this topic. So I would recommend you to study, read these pages which I have mentioned, and if you can make some points, write some points in your copy about all these six one by one. If you have any questions, do consult me. I'll see you tomorrow with the carbohydrates, and that will be our main lecture. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.